White tea comes from the same plant as green tea and is processed in a very similar way to green tea. So we need to brew it in a similar way to what we do with green tea. You don't want to use water that's too hot because you're actually going to overcook the antioxidants in your white tea. You also don't want to steep it for very long because it will start to get bitter, and after a certain point, it's going to lose antioxidant value. So for white tea, water below the boiling point. And to figure that out, all you need to do is you can take water that comes to a full rolling boil, if that's the way your kettle works, then lift the lid off your kettle, let it stand for about a minute until the water is just steaming. That water is perfect for white tea. Or what you can do is you can let a kettle come to a boil on your stovetop, and if you're doing that, if you actually observe the little bubbles that are in the water as it starts to heat, you'll notice that at first steam is rising from the water and then tiny little bubbles start to emerge. And it's the point when you have tiny little bubbles emerging and they're starting sometimes to pierce a little bit the surface of the water, but there's no full rolling boil occurring on the surface of the water. That indicates a lower water temperature, and that water temperature is ideal for white tea. With white tea, anywhere from sort of a 2 to 5 minute steeping time or a 2 to 3 minute steeping time is usually ideal. So white tea is renowned for its antioxidant value because it's very nutrient rich. In order to ensure that you're maximizing the antioxidants of your white tea, you need to make sure that you brew it properly. Now, in addition to that, something to be aware of is that when you're drinking tea that's not fresh, it loses a lot of its antioxidant value and it also loses a lot of its flavor. Consequently, you end up needing to use more tea leaves per serving in order to get flavor from your white tea. White tea, as a general rule, has a very light, delicate flavor anyway, but you're gonna get almost no flavor from your white tea if the white tea is very low quality or if it's not fresh. So, with Silk Road teas, because our teas are very fresh and high quality, they're very flavorful, which means that you use less per serving than you do with most other brands. We recommend half a teaspoon per cup for a wonderful serving of white tea.